All right, let's do some Mathity-Math. Says here, Octavius sorts oysters in Walladia. A batch of 300 oysters are dumped onto his sorting table. After his first pass of sorting, 183 of the oysters are restaurant quality. Okay, simple enough. Says write an equation or expression to show the number of oysters that are not restaurant quality in this batch of oysters. Okay, pretty straightforward question. Let's break it down step by step so we can kind of tell this story and see if this makes sense. So when the whole party starts, we have, we'll call it total oysters. We have total oysters, T-O, okay? And we know that those total oysters are being broken down into two different categories. Essentially, the first category is restaurant quality. Okay, those are good enough to go to a restaurant. And the other ones are not restaurant quality. So if this is restaurant quality, we'll say this is not restaurant quality. Okay, and so that right there actually mathematically tells the whole story, right? My total oysters are two things. Those that are restaurant quality and those that are not restaurant quality. And actually just by moving these pieces around, you can actually identify whatever you want and just keep these pieces the same and then substitute in your numbers. So for instance here, it says write an equation or expression to show the number of oysters that are not restaurant quality. Well, if we want to find out what is not restaurant quality, we can actually just isolate this section all by itself and then we'll have it. So if I wanted to get NQR all by itself, all I have to do actually is subtract restaurant quality from both sides. So if I subtract restaurant quality from both sides, right, I'll keep it over here and then we'll flip it next. So I know that I now have my not restaurant quality will be, so these canceled, total oysters minus restaurant quality. So I have my total oysters minus restaurant quality. Now I'm just going to go ahead and flip this because it makes me feel better. So I know that not restaurant quality is the total oysters minus restaurant quality. Okay, so actually that right there would always tell the story. And now we can actually just plug in for what we know and we could find the answer. So if we know not restaurant quality is always total oysters minus, and we said we knew that 183 are restaurant quality. So you can just plug in 183. That's just substitution. Let me scooch on down here. Whoa. Okay. And I could also actually substitute in my total oysters if I wanted. I could also say my not restaurant quality is 300 minus 183, right? So at this point, actually, this is actually a pretty great answer. It says whatever my total oysters were this time minus that, but this is a better answer because we substituted in the total oysters and the restaurant quality, and I'm left with what's not going to the restaurants. And if you wanted to go ahead and solve this, you could just take out your handy dandy calculator, or you could do the math in your head as you like, and just say 300 minus 183, voila, 117. 117 oysters. Now, I want to take a second here to encourage you guys, to remember, lots of these problems in the beginning, you can just look at them and you can solve them in your head, and that's fine. But the real power and the real skill is being able to manipulate equations, move equations around, and build equations to always tell you the story and always help you find the answer. This skill becomes more and more important because there's going to become a point where you can't just do this stuff in your head, and you're going to need to have the skill of building and manipulating expressions and equations. So I encourage you to start when it's easy so you can learn the skill, and then you'll have that skill when things get harder. All right, don't forget, subscribe if you want to be notified whenever I make a new video. And if you want me to make a special problem or you need to practice something, leave a comment below and I'll get on it. Thanks. Bye.